Okay, guys, we have a new face with us. You've heard me talk about Emily a couple times, and her TBR that keeps growing because she reads really slow. No judgment. So Emily's in town visiting, so we thought, what better time than to have her on the podcast? Because today we are doing the SJM hot tea. So
Yeah.
we're gonna get into it. Miss Girl was just interviewed on what was the podcast name?
Call her daddy.
Call Her Daddy. So she was just interviewed, which is a huge deal because she hasn't done an interview, I think, almost like since Silver Flames.
Yeah, it's been a long time
Yeah.
for SJM.
So we got a lot of answers. We got a lot of not answers. We have some very exciting book release news. So we're going to kind of go over all of that and talk about it. And let's get into it.
Okay. So obviously the biggest news from the Call Her Daddy episode is that she announced that she will be releasing ACOTAR 6 and ACOTAR 7. With ACOTAR 6 coming out October 27th of this year, and then ACOTAR 7 coming out January 12th of
Yeah.
2027. So two big books within, a
Mm-hmm.
short amount of time. It's going to be, I think, 4 parts. So I think part 1, 2,
There's
and 3.
also been like a page release, but I don't know how official it is.
Yeah,
It's 400 for book six, and then I think it was like close to seven
it was like
for
980 for book 7
yeah. It was like
or book
something. It was
6
like seven,
or
eight
book
hundred. Yeah.
7. But yeah, so obviously that's the biggest news to come out of this.
Yeah.
Other than that, the other like big highlight that I noticed when I watched it was that she has all the rights back to her TV show.
Yes.
Um, and I mean, we mentioned this in an earlier episode, but it helps TV series when the authors have, a part to play
Yeah.
in casting and script and all of these things.
Most
Just because I
definitely.
feel like it is her world, as they said. Like it's something that she built. So
I think kind of what we talked about with like Fourth Wing and how we mentioned with Harry Potter. I think that when the author is able to be a part of it, it makes us be able to stay close to the books instead of
yeah,
steering in
yeah,
another direction. Like she knows what the people want.
yeah. And she also knows the ins and outs of the world like nobody else does. So when
Absolutely.
you bring in, another person to help
Right.
or take over that, it's just hard because they're not the author, they're not the person that created it. So
Absolutely.
I think her having the rights back to the TV show will help it be
Yeah.
what we want it to be, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, other than that, those were the two big things. She did rapid fire questions on at the end of the video. Other than that, she didn't really like say any big
Yeah.
spoilers or anything. She said, I know that she mentioned when Alex asked her if Reen, Reese and Rune were related. She said, basically, you'll find out.
Yeah.
She said, I'm not answering that, but you'll find out. Um, Bryaxis is a woman, which obviously makes
Yeah.
sense.
That threw me, and I think it's so funny that Cassian is so scared of a woman.
Yeah. But I mean, in all of SJM fashion, fear incarnate being a woman just makes
No,
sense.
absolutely.
So,
I think something that was like a really big like kicking and giggling moment for me was the official announce that Hunt and Bryce
our end game.
are endgame. But I think where that then goes into is now we have, because she hasn't done an interview in so long, there's like lore of people who, like, we've had this talk before that like when authors go so long, people like keep rereading and then keep spiraling, and then these theories
Mm-hmm.
just get crazy and get out of control. So
Well, and I think that's why people didn't like Crescent City 3 as much,
yeah,
is because there were so many theories and that they wanted it to be
right.
so many different things. And it's just
Well,
like,
people just expected to jump into a series and then like, what, you wanted all the answers? Like, you wouldn't read the book then. So
right, right.
Um, I think for me, I really liked that, but then that starts to go into play of she then had, obviously this next book is Elaine. Everyone's known that that's been very common information, right? So now she makes a comment that literally is talking about, like the cauldron and mates themselves. and everything. And she says that, like with Farah and Cassian, which obviously with Cass and Nesta, everyone kind of wanted her an heiress, and like that Cassian wasn't really it. And then everyone has this evil Reese theory so that he was faking their bond, just like how in Throne of Glass that was done by the main character in that series, like a fake mate bond. So everyone like had this theory that evil Rhysand faked their bond and that really it's her and Eris because they
Well,
had so much tension in one dance. So I liked that she finally was like, no, the Cauldron did right by them, and their match is perfect and how it's supposed to be, but
yeah,
not every match is what it's supposed to be in perfect.
she touched on the Reese thing too,
Yeah,
because Alex had brought up saying like that people think that Reese is evil and
yeah.
he's not, and it had to do with the fact that he didn't tell Feyre
About the pregnancy.
about the pregnancy. And honestly, the way she explained it was he's not evil. They are true mates, and they, even though he's 500 years old, he's still allowed to make mistakes. You know what I mean?
Like
So
he's allowed to be going through shit.
yeah, that's exactly what she said. So I'm glad she squashed that, because
Yeah.
that little conspiracy theory thing is just not it with me.
No,
It doesn't sit right with me. So
absolutely not. And
I
like the
just
slander towards him for like actually it was
yeah.
on my TikTok today, like everyone being like everyone tries to we talked about this, like everyone compares Nesta and Feyre, and then everyone compares Aelin and like Rhysand, and Aelin is the main character from Throne of Glass. And it was that because he hasn't fully completely abolished the wing clipping for women. And then everyone's like, Aelin would have had that done in this amount of time, and like da 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 da. Like, why doesn't he take this serious? And I'm like, I feel like what people don't understand is that he was literally locked under a mountain. He did ban it, but all of these like Aurelian warriors have been running free for the last 50 years while he's been like locked up, and then they did go on a killing spree and start killing these people, and he has to get his court back under control, and he has to do all this, and it is illegal. He is
Yeah.
enforcing it, but also what do they want him to do? Because he'd be evil if he then just started killing everyone. Like, are they going to kill every single male? Like, this is the perfect like situation of like showing that like there are cultural things that like change doesn't just happen like this. Like he is actively doing the things that he's supposed to be doing, and he is making progress towards them. But he would have to kill every single Aurelian
Yeah.
warrior instead of
Well,
changing the mindset. And he lets the girls train, and he's like trying.
yeah.
And so like I don't like I just hate the slander and I hate the hate just because of like, and that's like the biggest thing people will say. And then they bring up the pregnancy, and then they bring up like how he treated Pharaoh under the mountain. And I'm like,
I don't
one, he was in
understand. I
fight or
don't
flight mode,
understand
and they weren't even mates yet.
I don't understand that. I will never be behind that. I don't get it. It just does not make any sense. When people slander Reese, it really makes me question if we read the same book because it does not make sense. And I mean, honestly, the things that she talked about that she was going through while she was writing A Court of Silver Flames
Yeah.
makes me understand as to why that book is written the way it is written, and the way Nesta is written the way she is written.
Yeah.
And it brings a little light to A Court of Silver Flames, which is an amazing thing, but I just don't understand the slander on Reese, and I don't understand how people hate, like have a full blown hate for Nesta. We've talked about it. We talked about
Yeah,
it
we've
in
I was
our
gonna say we've
2023
literally
recap.
talked about it. Like there, everyone is either like 100% love or 100% hate, and I just don't
Mm-hmm.
think that that's like even
That's
in
not the
life.
answer.
No, even in life, like I don't think that that's the answer to things. And so, like for example, are there things that Reese does where I'm just like, dude, like what are you doing? Yeah.
Well,
Are
it's
there
like he's
things
allowed to make a mistake. You know what I mean? He
right?
still is a person. So
And
like,
same thing with Nesta, and like my opinion on Nesta still hasn't changed even after hearing the interview. While I do think that it was nice to feel a little bit of a deeper connection to the book now that she's kind of explained things, I still stand on my statement that I really just hate the slander of everyone being like, and it's really big right now that she just announced this,
right.
of, and we were just talking about this today, of everyone literally being like, if you're just now understanding Nesta, then you've never gone through trauma or da, da, da. And I'm like, guys, like, okay, I'm not excusing and I'm not enabling and I'm not disagreeing or anything. Like I'm not hating all that. But what I am gonna say is that while I do understand Nesta's character and I understand the things that she's going through and I understand why she was written the way that she was and the way that the book was written now, especially after this interview, I still stand on my statement that kindness is free. And even though you're
yeah,
knowing
100%.
it's still not an excuse for her
Yeah,
behavior.
no.
And that's what I feel like people can't understand because I understand she's going through crap. And everyone understood she's going through crap.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
and
and I like
why
you
they did
can
the intervention.
you can resonate with her healing journey,
Right.
and like you can heal as a person and not be
Right.
a bitch. You know what I
Right.
mean? If that makes sense. Like you
No,
don't
absolutely.
have to be mean.
Right.
And like
Well, and I think that it was
it just
very
doesn't click in my brain because like I've been through my healing journey. I'm still
yeah.
in my healing journey.
Right.
And like yeah, I mean sometimes if you piss me
Right.
off, but like I'm not just a bitch for no reason. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like and I understand like having coping mechanisms like she
Yeah.
did and like, you know, having sex with everybody and like getting drunk. Whatever, that's fine.
Right. Right.
I resonate more with how like the strength that she found in herself versus the
Absolutely.
entire other book, like the rest of the book.
Right.
Like,
No, absolutely. Well, and I think what I was gonna say too is that like I think this was a very uniquely written book
mm-hmm,
of the point of view of someone who obviously struggles with mental health, which I love that. And I also love the fact that so a big quote was that like resonated and like this resonated with me where it was like I don't remember what it exactly says, but it was the quote was along the lines of that like she's failed in every way in life and she feels like an utter failure. So to make people not realize how much she's failed, she just pushes them away, even the ones closest to her, the ones she loves.
mm-hmm.
And I understand that. And I do and I've gone through those things and done those things too, especially in my own mental health journey and stuff like that. But I'm still not going to sit here and excuse her behavior. I can
Absolutely not.
understand and this is where the big issue with people is that I can understand the behavior, but I'm not going to sit there and say the behavior's okay. And
Yeah,
then
no.
everyone's argument for that is like, "Oh, well, you've never." No. I have gone through things. I choose to even if like I have a moment, I apologize.
Right.
And
You recognize that
there
you
is
were
like a
not in the
line
right.
and I do think that everyone just and like this goes back to everyone picking like Reese or Nesta. They're both very morally gray. Okay, they're both morally gray. But if Rhysand was a woman, no one would have a problem with his behaviors because all the Nesta people don't have a problem with her behavior. And I've
Right.
said
Yeah.
that, and I'll say it again. Same thing where everyone brings up Nesta's essay, but no one talks about Rhysand's essay.
Yeah.
For
It's
50 years.
it's literally like
And I feel like the
two sides of
reason
the
why
same
people have
story.
so much hate is because they're so similar. The
Yeah.
difference is that Rhysand chooses to be kind,
Mm-hmm.
and Nesta is now learning to be kind, and
I think you said it. I think you said it perfectly. I understand the actions, but that doesn't make the actions okay.
absolutely
And I think that is where like I feel about it is that
yeah
I understand why she did those things. I understand she was
yeah
going through shit. I understand she has trauma cuz bitch me too.
absolutely
Like the fuck.
absolutely
But it does not make your actions okay. I've been a horrible human being because of the things that I've been through.
right
And yes, I have reconciled those horrible things that I've done.
right
It doesn't make my actions okay.
yeah.
I know that it
I
was bad. Like, you
I
know what I
think what I
mean?
really liked was that she just was like, as soon as that question kind of was like, and that topic started to go that way, she instantly was like, but also Rhysand's allowed to be going through shit too. Nesta's allowed
Mhm.
to be going through shit.
Yep.
Everyone can go through shit. So I feel like she knows the balance right now of just like either full blown hate love on each side. And I don't
I
think that
just
she likes it. I truly think because
mm-mm,
she's also said too, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't Rhysand based off of like her husband, like their relationship or something?
mm-mm. No, she said he's not.
Oh, then maybe that's another author. Awkward.
Rebecca's is
Ah,
largely
it's Rebecca.
a lot of her books are largely based off of her husband, which
Okay,
makes sense.
it
He's
was
a
Rebecca.
very good
But
looking man.
either way, she literally was like talking about how Rhysand made Feyre like not just an equal, she is an equal. He didn't
Mm-hmm,
make her an equal, she is an equal. And
mm-hmm,
she literally talked about how like I don't understand how this is even a question because as women and all the women in her book, she's all about empowering these
mm-hmm.
women and that they're strong and this and this and that. And so Nesta's journey is the same way, Rhysand's journey is the same way, and I just think that she just wrote them
Yeah.
differently. And I truly think from that interview and from like other things, I don't think she likes that people are just like full on like, and so I feel like she is hoping, as well as I'm hoping, and I hope the TikTok community especially starts shifting our gears towards like we can agree to disagree.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing too that really gets me is that like the full-blown Nesta haters and the full-blown Reese haters, like it's a book, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a book.
Yeah.
I love ACOTAR with my whole being. I love Fourth Wing with my whole being. I love romance books with my whole being. It's a book.
Yeah, like the slant
Unfortunately, it's
towards
not
people who
real.
don't agree, and then like, and I also don't agree with people like responding to like, okay, like if Emily was sitting here and was like, yeah, like I don't like Nesta, like I'm not gonna look at her and be like, oh, then you've never gone through trauma before. Like, why would you say that to someone? Because
Right.
you
And
don't
it's also
know.
it's the same book talk argument. It's like people who read
Mm-hmm.
these types of books and people who read like
Yeah,
more literature, I'm going to label it as, they fight because these people aren't smart
yeah,
enough because all they read is fairy smut. And it's just everybody everybody responds
yeah,
and accepts a book differently and interprets it differently, and I think that's honestly one of the best things about being a fucking reader is
yeah,
that everyone interprets the book differently and everybody gets a different thing out of it.
yeah.
And you cannot sit there and be like, you haven't experienced trauma if you hate Nesta,
Right.
because you have no idea what they got out of A Court of Silver Flames. I
Mm.
still got wonderful things out of A Court of Silver Flames. The
Absolutely.
only reason,
I very much like you said earlier, like I feel like I didn't resonate with how she treated and how her coping mechanisms. I don't resonate with that because I don't agree with them, but I really resonated with the inner strength, the overcoming
right?
and dealing and battling with the mental health. I understood all of that. But then like
Yeah,
she's doing the other like things that I don't agree with and I'm just like, all right, like what are we doing, girl? And then I move on, like I move
right.
on. But my biggest point, because we could keep going on about this, so we'll move on. But we want morally gray characters, but then when they're morally gray, it's a problem.
Yeah, literally.
It's a
Like you
problem.
have to be
And
able to
I
accept the morally
also
gray.
feel like this is, and I'll say it one more time, and I will stand on this hill. Why is it? Yeah, I'm standing. But why is trauma and coping and grief and everything like morally gray behavior, like all that stuff, like sexually it's okay for guys, but emotionally or sexual assault and all of that stuff, like what Nesta had to battle with, it's okay because she's a woman, but it's not okay because Rhysand is a man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think truly he's one of the first books that characters that I've read as a man that talks about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's one such a power move on Sarah to address that.
Yeah.
Do I wish it would have been addressed as deeply? Like if I could have a book of Rhysand battling everything after like Under the Mountain, but also what people don't understand too is that Nesta had all that free time because the battle and everything like that. Like Rhysand has been in battle and saving the world mode like
For
right from the go.
forever.
He hasn't even had time to
To
cope and deal
heal.
and battle all
Yeah,
this stuff. So
literally. And
I just
Sarah mentioned that she literally was like, they literally came straight from Under the Mountain and went
right.
into this big ass thing, and now they're finally healing.
Right.
You
So I
know,
just hope that from this, we all can collectively agree that we just love these characters. We're all so excited for these next books. We're so excited to go back into Valaris. So can we all just get along?
yep. And let's not make any crazy big expectations for plots, theories, anything.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have our own theories. Let's not make anything crazy because I feel like people will have too much of an expectation of what needs to happen, and then
Yeah.
I feel like
Okay.
it's going to get a lot of backlash. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that when I brought up the literature versus fairy smut,
Yeah.
is that Sarah did mention, it's while the sex scenes are fun to write and fun to read for us, and
Mm-hmm.
a large part of what we enjoy about these books, it's not just that, and
Yeah.
it's okay for us to have some little fun, but I truly believe that, especially with fantasy, a lot of our the books that we read, I mean, Quicksilver, From Blood and Ash, Fourth
Right.
Wing, ACOTAR, like Fear Flames, like all of these books all have such a deeper meaning, and it's not just sex. Like a lot of people just dismiss ACOTAR or Fourth Wing as like, oh, it's just fantasy smut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not. There's a lot of depth to these books that people don't understand.
Absolutely. There's so
especially
many
in this day and age with our, current political climate. A lot of these books have such a huge meaning. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was one thing that I wanted to touch on, because she did point out, she was like, I will never dismiss my books, and I hate that people dismiss my books as just smut, because it's not.
No, it's absolutely not. There's so many different layers and complexities. So I don't agree with that.
Yeah. It's not just smut, and whoever thinks that can.
They can.
So, but yeah, other than that, a lot of people are theorizing right now. She wore a lot of blue, which we know is Azriel's color.
And she had pink.
And she did have
pink. And then her hearts were blue and pink.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I think also, when we were talking about mates, she said that there are true mates and then just mates. So like Reese and Feyre are true mates. Yeah. Cass and Nesta, she said, are true mates. Yeah. And then she said there's the mate bonds where it's like nature made a mistake.
Yeah.
And she said the example she used was Reese's parents.
Well, that's what I was just telling Emily, because I was explaining to her, and I was like, okay, so look, like literally it's already talked about previously. Like that was like low-key foreshadowing, right? Like Reese's parents were mates, they didn't get along, like it wasn't a true match. So
and so then she was like, nature made a mistake.
Theory. So I was literally just having this conversation with Emily. Okay, so 6 is only 398 pages, like a little under 400, right? And then the next book is like big. So here's kind of like where I'm going with this and what I like theory wise and think. Okay, so obviously like his parents were the biggest example of that. So where my theory is going for these books is it could go a couple different ways. She did say, and this is why I'm about to say this, she literally said Elena's going through her own shit right now. She literally dismissed. And so that makes me think, okay, is book 6 like tension and yearning between like her and Az, but she rejects the bond, but then doesn't pursue things with Az and is like focusing on herself? Like, is this book going to be the feminism self-growth journey of just a woman?
I think
man.
I think it possibly could be, just because I feel like Sarah J. Maas is in that point of her life, and she did say that like a lot of her books end up mirroring. Got it?
Yeah.
Mirroring what she goes through at the time. So I feel like she's like in her mom phase, in her self-love woman phase. You know, she did realize that like if all of this goes away tomorrow, I'm still okay. So I definitely feel like there's a high chance it's going to be that.
So that's what I was like telling Emily. I was like, I feel like it could be Elena's going to choose herself. She's going to reject the bond. And then we get into book 7, right? So book 7 is going to be one of two things. If this is this way. So this is like part 1 theory, okay? So if Elaine chooses herself, rejects the bond, like whatever. Book 7 is going to be a couple different things. It's going to be then, now time has passed. So now Az and her are finally going to start things after she gaslights us with like a whole book of it not happening. And then it does happen. And then whatever the major plot is of this book, because there's no way that it's about to be 800 pages of just her and Az or Az and Gwen, whatever route she takes, because I'm not dismissing either theory, because the theories are there. There's no way that it's that. So there has to be some theory. So it's either that there's, we have the queens, we have the Vasa, the guy who's like keeping her captive, the guy across the lake, that guy. We're dealing with that. The queens, like the series ended on an open note of the queens, and like this is
there's a lot of things to handle.
Either we're going into that, or it's the world joining with Crescent City. But then my thing is though is that I feel like she's not gonna do that because while Crescent City overlapped, I feel like she's not. I mean, she might make the book, but that would mean that like you would
But
have
here's
to.
the thing, though, is that we still have a whole other Crescent City 4.
That's what I'm saying. But here's the
So
thing:
I
is
feel
that
like
like
if she's gonna
Crescent
cross over
City,
worlds, it's gonna be in the final books.
agree. So Crescent City, you don't have to read ACOTAR for knowledge of what's going on. For the greater impacts, yes, but you could read it and not have read ACOTAR and be fine. But if all of a sudden we're throwing Crescent City into ACOTAR, now you have to read Crescent City. So I can understand, like marketing wise, why you do that because that makes you then have to like read the
You're
books.
right, buy all
But
the other books.
I don't think that it makes sense to the storyline. So I do think that it's going to be some whether, like I said, whether it's the queens, whether it's whatever new enemy is the bigger issue, we're going to be doing that plus Elaine and everything, right? I think that's kind of like part one if it goes that way, but part two would be that if the sixth book is homegirl breaking the bond with Lucian, I don't think they're going to be together. I think
the fact that she brought up that mates can be like a nature made a mistake.
Exactly.
I don't think so. I think that was a big enough drop on her part, even if she smoothed it over with saying, "Oh, Reese's parents are the perfect example of that." I still think that it was too much of a drop for her to say that without that being a
like they're like that
basically told us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So then it's going to be her like rejecting the bond with him and struggling with that, and then it's tension yearning, and then like that choice, and then book 7 is going to be whatever the main like plot is. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen a lot of like comments because I'm sure every reader's For You page is blasted with ACOTAR right now, and I've seen a lot of comments where like if it's not Elaine and Lucian, I'm gonna be mad, and it just
say it with your chest. Say it with your chest. She said, "Ew."
Yeah, come on, Emily, say it with your chest. We got hot takes in our name for a reason, babe.
Yeah.
I just the way that a Court of Wings and Ruin and a Court of Silver Flames ended off with their relationship, I don't think that they're.
You want to hear my theory?
Okay.
Okay. This is my like ultimate theory. Okay. I think, and I'm calling this now, and if I'm right, yeah, I'm that girl.
Okay, date it. It's I almost said December. It's March 7th at
10:30, 10:14 p.m. I'm calling this right now. This is what I think is truly going to happen. Ready? Elaine is going to reject the bond. Lucian's not going to know how to feel about it because obviously there's like the mate thing. You know,
they already don't know how to feel about it.
Exactly. So he feels some type of way. He doesn't know how to feel about it because obviously, like when you have the mating bond, she said in their books that like for males they feel it first and they feel it stronger than girls, and then as it goes over time, then like it's easier to suppress and at a further distance it is. And there was even a little bit of foreshadowing of when him and Rhysand had a conversation, and it was like that he was prepared to let Feyre go and marry Tam and like, and then the comment was pretty much along the lines of like are you willing to let her go if that's the case, and also don't think that you can run away and force her because literally that's my sister-in-law and I'll like so like I feel like that was like a little bit of foreshadowing too of that, like, okay, he has to let her go type thing, because here is the theory. Okay, I think him and Bird Lady are gonna be not mates because he's already had a mate or whatever, but I think they're gonna
true mates
maybe, but they're gonna turn into a thing for sure. I feel
Who the fuck is Bird Lady?
Vasa, the queen, the Vasa queen.
Oh yeah, I remember. Clocked in. Okay,
they're gonna be something. They're gonna be something.
Yeah, I agree.
Because also, here's the thing that people have to understand. I don't hate him. I do not hate him, and I don't understand the hate towards him. He was literally just as abused by Tamlin as Feyre was. And yes, I'm saying the word abused. And
call it what it is.
And I just don't understand the hate towards him. Do I not agree with some of his actions, and was he a shitty friend in person? Yeah, but also
it's the same argument like he was a shitty human being because he went
Right.
through all that shit.
But also,
Like,
what people don't understand too is that like Tamlin was his high lord, and like in that culture, like it's like you do what your high lord, like even though it's not right, you know what I'm saying? So it's even
well,
like a
and that
different, it's even
again
just a
is the
situation
same
and
point because Nesta was
right,
like Rhys is her high lord, and she,
right,
even though she didn't necessarily like him, she would do
right.
what he said. You know what I mean? What he
No,
asked.
100%. So I think him and Birdley, they're gonna be a thing.
Oh yeah, I
And
agree with
what
that.
people don't understand is that he is the actual heir to the freaking
Autumn King.
Autumn. No, not to the Autumn King. That's not his dad.
No,
His dad is Helion.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
he
I remember
is
because we
going to
figured that out.
be he,
Favorite figured it out. Yeah, I remember
he
that.
is
Okay.
going to be the next High Lord there.
Mhm.
So he plays a big role in this. So people get the heck over it, like straight up, because like he's gonna be in the story. He plays
Yeah,
a
no,
very
I
big part of
agree.
it. Okay.
I agree. I
So
agree. I
then
agree.
they're gonna be together. I think Az and Elaine are gonna be like actually because what has been doing.
I think Az and Elaine are in game.
I do too, and you know everyone can argue what they want. Oh, it's cliche. Oh, there's been a little too. And here's the thing: she could be gaslighting us by wearing the blue and by wearing the pink and
Okay,
saying
but
this.
here's the thing.
She could be,
Here's
but
the
I
thing is that why would she put Nesta and Cassian together if she's not going to put Elaine and Azriel together?
mm-hmm.
It literally, if you read, I know you don't read. Emily, do you read romance books? Or are you just strictly fantasy?
Yeah, she's reading a romance book right now.
What are you
So,
reading?
Burning Daylight.
Haven't read it. I'll have to look into it. I'm reading A Billionaire Romance.
Okay.
That's number 4.
because she wants money.
Anyways, but you know, like if you read it, what did you say?
I said it's because you're broke and you want money.
Yeah, duh. But any like standard interconnected romance reader knows that if there's 4 groups of like a 4 group of friends of girls, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, are all going to end up with a
Right.
guy from that said friend group.
Right.
It's in this book, in this book, in these books, in these books, in those books. Like on every single book on my shelf, that is the plot that follows. And honestly, I mean, like, fucking Blood and Ash. There's side characters that end up together. You know what I mean?
I just think that
Logically, it does not make sense to not put Elaine with Azriel. It doesn't.
and I think too that we don't know enough about Gwen.
I agree.
For her to just all of a sudden become a big character like that.
Yeah, and she's a big enough character on her own in A Court of Silver Flames. She stands out on her own in A Court of Silver Flames as Nesta's.
Like, and I think that if she puts her there, that takes away the whole like empowerment women group little family clicky thing. You know what I'm saying? Not that not that her choosing love in a man, whatever. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah,
what I am
no.
Right now, the focus for that group is like that's them, and then we have Elaine over here who's not doing crap, and you know, and even like I don't know, like here's the thing is that like in the little extra chapters where like Rhys is literally like you can't do this, like no, and is like forbidding it, like I don't know, like I just feel like those chapters wouldn't be there if this wasn't, you know,
considered moot.
Yeah. So that's I'm calling it right now. I truly do think that Man Across the Lake, that's controlling Bird Woman, is going to be a factor in this book. I think the queens are going to come back into this book. I think that because we've talked about this, that I think the Bone Carver and Striga, their brother is the guy across the lake. They are the Asteri, part of the gods and all that stuff from Throne of Glass and Crescent City. So I think this is setting up for the 4th book in Crescent City, which is the big crossover completely.
I have a slight theory. I don't know if it could be just like way out in the water, but the final, because you know Bone Carver, that is basically tied up. The guy across the lake could be the final threat in book 4 of Crescent City somehow if Nesta ends up opening the worlds, or you know what I mean. So
Well,
I
because
think I think we're
he would
spot
be
on
the
with that
last, like,
theory, but
he's the last Asteri there. So if the Asteri end up coming there, because they've been trying to get back to that world
Mhm.
because they're the only one who got away. And so
Mhm.
then if they make contact with him,
Yeah, and I'm jumping back to Azrael, but we were talking about Crescent City, so it popped in my head because I mean we just read Crescent City, so it's fresh in my mind.
yeah,
Bryce was ended at Azrael's feet, and that
after
is
asking, right,
yeah.
to go to a Prince of Hell.
So I think it doesn't make sense to have I don't know because Akatar follows the sisters and not necessarily the men of the group.
Yeah.
Like obviously the females are the main characters of this series, so it would kind of negate Azrael's story because we know that there's more history there and we wouldn't
Mhm.
necessarily get it if it's
Yeah.
not Azrael, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. So
I also feel like we're gonna finally get the connection of, obviously she said she's not gonna answer Reese and Rune, and obviously we've talked about this, and we're not getting into the whole theories thing because you can go watch
basically
it. We'll be here
other
for
than other than like addressing
Well, I
Bryce
think
and
we're gonna
Hunt.
get. Remember what we talked about, that we think that, like, how Hunt was like made and created. Same thing with Az, because
Yeah.
his powers are,
Yeah. Well, I think
and then the whole Prince of Hell thing. So
yeah.
I
I
think we're gonna
know.
put
I
together.
think if you go watch our Crescent City video, there's a lot of theories that we have, and we
Yeah,
don't necessarily have the time to get back into all of that.
right.
Um,
Otherwise, we'll be here for
but
literally.
she did outside of like saying Bryce and Hunt are endgame, she really didn't answer any. Basically, she was just like one of the questions was, "What did Lorcan do?" And she was like, "I think about that all the time." Where
Yeah.
did Vegas go? Is that his name from Throne of Glass? I don't know.
Mm.
Where did one of the characters go? She was like,
Oh,
I think about
okay.
that too. The only question she really answered, like rapid on the rapid fire round, was that Bryson Hunt or Endgame.
Yeah,
Everything else that was asked on rapid fire was just like, you're gonna find out.
yeah.
Basically,
Well, I
it's
mean, she also can only answer so much. Like,
right.
honestly, the big news was the drop dates. That was
Yeah,
like the big.
that was the big news, and then like the big news, and then the TV show
Mhm,
because we all knew that she had been picked up for a TV series, and then it got
mhm,
canceled, and then she told us she got the rights back.
yeah,
I definitely do like think this interview got us into her head a little bit more and got to know her as like a person
absolutely.
on a deeper level so that way like
Yeah.
we can be connected to her books on a different like in a
Mhm.
different way if that makes sense. um
Well, I think it goes to show that what people forget, and we've talked about this before as well, is that authors are people, and half the time
mhm,
these books are written based off of either, things that they've gone through,
yeah,
things that they want, they need, da 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 da
yeah,
da. So I think it just goes to show that characters are more complex than the writing. And like, so
yeah,
she's like, I wrote Silver Flames while like I was going through therapy, like da 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 da. So all this stuff.
right,
So I
yeah.
feel like it
Well, she
really
also
shows that.
she also like explained that she wrote Feyre's pregnancy in lieu of her own pregnancy because she had a horrible first pregnancy. I hope
Yeah.
she sued the fucking doctor that she had, but
Yeah.
it's none
And
of my
oh my God.
business. But
And when she
like,
was like tearing up, I literally was like, oh my God.
yeah, I know. It's just it goes to show, yes, technically we waited. I mean, Crescent City 3 was released in 2024, so 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
She's been out of the game for 2 years, but we
Mm-hmm.
haven't touched Akatar since 2021,
Right.
and it feels like a magnitude of time. But we also have to understand that like these writers are human, and like authors like her and like Rebecca Yarros are very open about what
Prioritizing their family and their
yeah,
life.
yeah, like
Yeah.
prioritizing, their life versus
Right.
just what they do for work because it is work for them. While it
Well,
might
and what I also feel like people don't understand too is that these are, well, especially right now with Crescent City, she's connecting worlds, literally
Mhm.
connecting worlds. You don't just quickly write this book and send it out. Otherwise, you're going to have massive plot
No.
holes. You're going to have unanswered things.
Yeah.
Like the writing isn't going to be good.
The
Like their writing is high quality writing. It is
yeah.
going to take at least at least a year to a year and a half in between books. So while I am annoyed because I've been waiting years, I'm understanding all at the same time.
Yeah.
And it'd be different if Crescent City hadn't come out and we've literally been waiting this long with nothing. She's dropped huge books like Crescent City. I mean,
they're thick.
So like I feel like that's what people don't understand is that this takes a lot, and I also feel like
she was also like a new mom during these times.
Right.
Like as she was
a new mom struggling
between
with,
the end of ACOTAR and like Crescent City releases, she was like learning how to be a mother.
Absolutely.
So like
I do hope that we get dual POVs in both books. I think in book 6, I'm hoping we're gonna get Luce as an Elaine.
You know what I'm gonna do when it comes out? I'm gonna go to the bookstore on October 27th. Do we know what day that is? Is it a Tuesday?
I can look.
You know how most book releases are on a Tuesday? 1 second. Yeah, it's on a Tuesday. I'm gonna have to take off work. I'm going to the bookstore. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna open it in the middle of the page and find out whose fucking point of view it's from. Okay.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that we do get the dual POVs, at least for that one, and then for book 7, I guess it really just depends on who the story is like following, but I still hope that we get multiple POVs. I think that I'm really excited to see. I think this is going to answer the timeline question for us because depending on Nyx and Nesta and how they are and their age and relationship in these books will literally tell us if Crescent City is now. Granted, I'm still rocking with my theory that they're simultaneously happening all at the same time in a big multiverse, but still rocking with the fact of like the timeline of the stories, because if Nyx is still like, little and Nesta's, still not good with Reese and all this stuff, then that happened after. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah. Emily, do you have any theories?
No, not really. I just want to read about Az, and that's it. That's all I care about.
Same. You know why I hate SJM so much? I hate her so much because she cut the Eiffel Tower scene out between Nesta, Cassian, and Azriel.
Give me it.
Cut it out of the book. Give it to me now.
Pause. She had to take that out because if she was going to make something, and that even proves it even more. That proves it more because why else would you take that scene out?
Yeah.
He's not going to end up with a sister.
Yeah. Because that shit would have had readers on their knees.
I will send an email, a very understandingly appreciative, mean email, if he ends up with someone else or they don't end up together. They could just not end up with anyone, and like that's fine, whatever. But then I want that scene. Can you release
no.
Can you release it in a mini novella? And it could even be like a dream.
If she does not put Elaine with Azriel, she better release like a
give me a story,
like a free PDF to her, like on her Instagram, like Jennifer did, and just give it to us because I swear to God,
I need it.
Yeah, I need that. I need that now. Okay, I need that now. Yeah. Other than that, we have 2 new books coming. I need to reread ACOTAR before that happens, so we're gonna have to put that into the schedule because I need to reread it. I'm good on rereading Crescent City because I just read it.
Not gonna make it in time. It'll be next year, and she'll be.
I'm sorry, Emily. Babe. You gotta catch up.
No. You don't even understand.
No, I do, because you had just told me like 3 weeks ago that she just finished Bloodstone, and I was like, that bitch came out in October.
Oh, I'm so slow at reading. It was so funny
because I was like, it was in October, and I was like, oh, it has.
Yeah.
Like, no, that book came out October 18th.
Yeah.
And it's March.
Actually, Emily, I do want to hear your opinion on this because ACOTAR was your first spicy series, right?
No, I did 4th week before I did ACOTAR.
Oh, you did do that.
Same girl.
Yeah.
But as those being like your first 2, like what are your thoughts, especially on like the arguments of like literature, spice, like all that stuff.
I like the argument of, because I've also seen a lot of like TikTok videos of people arguing between like smut isn't a real book.
Yeah.
And like I have a lot of like comments and stuff because when I go to my dive bar that I go to, I bring my book with me. And so everyone's like, oh, you're reading smut, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So like it's always
like, yeah, what about it?
Yeah, literally.
Well, it also goes into the other argument that I said where it's like, it's not, like you can't just dismiss these books as smut because if you read
you know, maybe these people who say those things should go read a book to figure out what a girl actually likes and where the clit is, okay?
Okay, continue, Emily. Continue what you were saying. We're just going to bypass that.
Am I wrong?
No. But okay. Bypass that.
Okay.
Back to you, Emily.
But I do agree with, I personally enjoy the little deeper messages in the book than the smut. Like that's the deeper messages and like relevance to like things in my personal life.
Right.
I enjoy a lot more than like reading about them fucking.
I think we talked about this the other day where we were like, we like a book that has world building, plot, action, you know, grief, trauma, depth, all of this stuff, and then just sprinkles.
Yeah, well, it's like,
smut.
Am I in love with the throne scene from Fourth Wing? Absolutely. Am I in love with chapter 55? Absolutely. But I can pull messages.
The books would also be just as good if those chapters weren't in there.
Right. I can pull messages that don't involve, you take those chapters out, and Fourth Wing is just as deep as it is. Like ACOTAR is just as deep as it is. You know what I mean? Like there are the little things that make the book fun.
Yeah.
But Fourth Wing is literally about people erasing history. Yeah. Bad people erasing their history because they want control.
And it's about oppression. It talks about racism, oppression, literally all like. But then let's go into it even in a different way. Like, okay, let's talk about ACOTAR. Ready? What are the things we've learned from ACOTAR? Let's start with book 1. In book 1, you learn that let's go very broad, right? Okay, 1, you learn to keep pushing through no matter what obstacle is in your way for yourself, even especially if you're going for your loved ones, even if it means destroying yourself to take care of your loved ones.
Yeah. Well, and that's also
okay. Or that siblings don't necessarily always function as society always says. Like the oldest sister might not be the caretaker. It might be the youngest one. Like
and also it's like, I mean, surrounding the love story of in book 1, I mean, you can think you love somebody that's so bad for you and that destroys you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like that,
and that not
it might be a little fun, like, it might be like a little fun, like story of, you know, Feyre falling in love with Tamlin, but like the whole abuse and everything that she goes through in the Spring Court through the first book and part of the second book is just like, that's real life shit. You know what I mean?
I think where it resonates even deeper, and people who hate on the first book, I feel like didn't fully understand this level of it. When you come from having nothing and then you get with someone who gives you everything that you never had, security, love, like clothes, food. Attention, you know, words of affirmation, you feel sexy, you feel empowered, so you overlook these little things. But then let's be real. Tamlin in book 1 wasn't the bad guy. He turned into it because like loving someone can poison your relationship. Loving someone too intensely can crush someone. It can kill someone. Like, and that's exactly what happened. They both, I'm not going to sit here and say Tamlin didn't go through anything. Tamlin definitely has his own trauma.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sarah was asked, you know, do you think that?
But like loving someone like that can absolutely poison you. And I feel like Tamlin and Feyre both went through so many different things. But like, let's go through the moment that really goes to show that your body is not the most important thing. Reese literally said, I was so mad I wanted to kill him because the one opportunity he had to try to get you away, he just tried to get one on. And that resonates with people who have been used for something
and I
just
mean,
like
Sarah was very open. She did say, she was asked if Tamlin was going to make, like, if she thinks Tamlin was going to make a full redemption arc. And she said, she was like, I don't think so, just because it would have to be written in a way that doesn't negate his actions or like pass off or excuse his actions. And she was very open about the fact that like one of her friends left her domestic abuse situation because of reading ACOTAR. And it's just like, it's not just some little fairy book. There are real fucking meanings, and people go through this shit in real life.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? Well, and we've talked about this in, I don't think in an episode, but we've definitely had this conversation that even though Tamlin did things towards the end that did help Feyre, right, and help the world and everything, and he was like, be happy. I feel like that was like a good way to end it, and there isn't, I don't think there is a good way to go into a redemption arc with him. And then everyone was like, so Elena's with flowers, so Tamlin and her. No, because that would literally say that would go against everything that she like one has been saying and standing for and the empowerment and all this stuff. And then it would excuse his actions and then make that make sense of how, I'm sorry, but you think Feyre and Reach would let that happen? And you think that, and also let's stop thinking like Elaine's an idiot. You think that Elaine would ever forgive him for what happened?
Elaine might be quiet and she might be going through shit, but she's not stupid.
No, she's not stupid. And that's what, and I also feel like we're going to really learn really quick that just because you're the quiet one doesn't mean that
you're weak or stupid.
And I think that's going to be the big journey for us with her. But like exactly like what you guys are saying, like these books are so much more meaning than that. In the rest of the books, we have very serious pregnancy talk. Obviously, we have mental health and a very in-depth mental health journey in Silver Flames. We have a found family. We have in A Court of Mist and Fury, we have building yourself up, leaving a domestic relationship, opening yourself back up to love, opening yourself up to family, opening up yourself to receiving love, and then coming into your own strength, your own power. Same thing with Nessa, coming into your own strength, your own power. Like there are so many things that you learn. And also let's like we learn, I mean, hopefully this isn't the way you learn, but like if you don't, then this is something that like it literally even shows you how you should be loved. Like Reese and Feyre are top tier, and people hate on them.
It's crazy.
Did not read the same book.
It's crazy that like you can read a romance or you can read a fantasy book and be like, I deserve to be loved like that.
Absolutely.
And then, I mean,
there's a reason all of us women read these books. I'm just
literally like she said that people are leaving their abusive husbands because they read these books and realized that. Like,
well, and there's people who don't even understand that just because 8 out of 10 things are given what you need and are okay and da 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 da. 2 out of those 10 times, those bad things add up. Those bad things are important. Those bad things matter and they should be taken seriously. And so I feel like that does a good job of showing, like, yes, Tamlin did all this stuff, but like you're telling me with super hearing and all that you didn't hear homegirl throwing her guts up every single night, and everyone always makes the excuse, well, they're both dealing with their trauma. Unexcusable.
No, because if you're going to commit yourself to somebody,
we can both be grieving, we can both be going through trauma and still be there for each other. That was just straight up neglect and ignoring the situation. And we're not even, don't even get me started. But long story short,
I mean, if you're going to commit yourself to somebody, you have to be able to put your things aside to commit to your person as well when they are going through something. It's just,
it's and everyone, and we said it earlier, but everyone's saying Rhysand is evil and all this. He was willing to literally let Feyre marry his enemy, the man who killed his mom and sister, if it made her happy, and wasn't going to stop her, wasn't even going to tell her that they were mates because she doesn't even understand it, wasn't going to burden her with that. But he's a bad guy, forced her into having kids and da-da-da. And also, I'm really hoping that in this next book we do get to see a little bit more of Feyre, because I do think that everyone belittling Farah for having a child and that being a mother is now this like weak thing. We've literally talked about this before. Being a mother
Sarah
is
mentioned
not
that as
for the
well.
weak. So I'm really hoping that in this book we do get, obviously it's going to focus on Elaine, but I'm hoping we get at least a little insight of Farah being, you know, even if it's just like side
comments, did like bring up the fact that like just because you're a mother does not make you weak, does not make you any less strong, or
and that you,
if anything, it makes you stronger. You know what I mean?
So still be a good person. Like,
yeah, literally. Okay, we're going on a tangent. We have to stop talking about that, or else we're gonna be here all night.
My blood's boiling.
My blood is boiling. Okay, so the plan for the next, what month is it? March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. The next 7 months is to reread ACOTAR, and me possibly read Throne of Glass. We will see. It's a big commitment.
Emily was just asking me. She's gonna actually read Fear the Flames.
Yes, do it.
And then I love Emily, but I told her that she doesn't have the reading time right now to even attempt Throne of Glass before ACOTAR book 6 and 7 come out.
I don't think I could get through Throne of Glass between here. All of them? It's like 9 books.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
It's hard.
I don't have
I could.
Me either.
No.
Me?
I was telling Emily though that while there are connecting things, it's not something that she needs to read right now.
I feel like Throne of Glass. Well, I mean, it was crazy to me to hear that Sarah J. Maas started writing ACOTAR in like 2009 and like started Throne of Glass when she was like 16 and then scratched it and rewrote it. That's crazy. That's crazy that somebody can have that plot, that big of a thing in their head for so long. But
like at 16, that's not
right. I think now, because Throne of Glass came out so long ago, like the last book came out in what, 2016, 2017, 2018 maybe?
Yeah.
And like that's almost 10 years ago. That's 8 years ago now at this point. So they've been out for a long time, and you see all the spoilers on TikTok. You know what I mean? You see them everywhere. There's anything possible that could be exposed or connected to ACOTAR or Crescent City has already been said on social media. So like there's no way that I don't know it already. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really is not a big priority for me, but I definitely want to reread ACOTAR because I've only read it once. So I want to read it again.
The book is going to be? What color do we think the book is going to be? Because like technically A Court of Mist and Ruin is
so pink. Here's the thing is that she had a blue and pink emoji in her Instagram post as well. I don't know if this makes me crazy, but I think it might be maybe like a pastel pink because Wings
that's what I was thinking. Because there's technically two blue. There's the two blue. I mean, even though that's like a blue green.
Well, the other thing is that we won't get the paperback version for another 6 months after it releases because it's releasing in hardcover only. Well, here's the thing is that people are saying they're buying it on Kindle and then when paperback comes out, because I got the book set for Christmas and it's all paperback. So I mean,
okay, wait, Loki, that's kind of smart.
Yeah, they said that they'll just buy the version on Kindle when it comes out, read it then because they're not going to wait a year, 6 months to a year,
and then buy
spoilers.
I might have to do that.
I think that's what I'm going to do because
I do want to get the rest of the hardback, but I
think I might buy a hardback copy just to say I did it because this is my first SJM release since reading her books.
You know what? No, I'm still gonna buy it. I think
I'm gonna buy it, but I don't know. It depends. I'm gonna take the day off work and go to the bookstore right now.
It's a national holiday. What you mean?
I know it is a national holiday. We're gonna have to take 2 days off. October 27th and January 12th. What do you need those days off for?
No, you should take off Monday because then you have time to finish any last reading.
No, I have all the ACOTAR books on my Kindle.
Oh, you can just read at work.
Yeah, I can just read at work, which I've been doing a lot of.
Okay, guys. So, long story short, there's a lot going on.
Go watch it. It was a great interview.
It was, and I think that it was fun.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Very fun.
There was definitely heavier topics, but it was still fun.
Yeah, and I loved it. So, and I think that if you're interested in getting into the series, go get into it. Obviously, all of us girlies who have read it, we're super excited about it. There's lots going on. I feel like we're going to start getting some things dropped our way, and
yeah, I can't wait for the cover reveal.
We're just here. Starting next week, we're going to be doing kind of like this month is a bunch of just reads for us because we have books coming out and stuff like that. So we're going to be doing a lot of book reviews next week and going into things. And sadly, I'm leaving
and
one.
Starside by Miss Alex comes out this month, so we're prepping for that as well. So
okay, well, you guys should go watch it. And yeah, you know the drill. Like and comment.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.